Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. An iconic Ghostbusters star revealed the details of his audition for the role of Commander Benjamin Sisko on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Sisko was played by Avery Brooks for all 7 seasons of DS9, the first African-American lead of a Star Trek series. Sisko later became the first black captain to lead a Star Trek series in DS9 Season 3. Ernie Hudson is best known for playing Winston Zeddemore in the Ghostbusters movie franchise. Hudson has joined the cast of Boston Blue, a Blue Blood spin-off that stars Donnie Wahlberg and Sonequa Martin Green, who led Star Trek Discovery for 5 seasons as Captain Michael Burnham. In an interview with Bleeding Cool about his role as Reverend Peters in Boston Blue, Ernie Hudson was asked about the possibility of his joining the Star Trek universe like his co-star Sonequa Martin Green. Hudson explained that he auditioned for the lead role in Star Trek Deep Space Nine over 30 years ago. Read Ernie's quote below. When asked if he had been willing to shave his head, the way Avery Brooks did as Captain Sisko in the later seasons of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Before Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Avery Brooks was perhaps best known for playing Hawk in Spencer for Hire, opposite Robert Urich. Brooks's bald and streetwise hero proved so popular with audiences that he received his own spin-off titled A Man Called Hawk. Ernie Hudson being one of the actors who auditioned and was considered for the role of Commander Sisko in Star Trek Deep Space Nine is a fascinating revelation. Hudson was already beloved for Ghostbusters, and if cast, he could have brought that mainstream audience to Star Trek. It's also interesting that Hudson initially didn't believe Star Trek Deep Space Nine's producers were serious that they were going to make the captain a black guy. While an African-American series lead did manifest for DS9, it took 3 seasons for Commander Sisko to be promoted to captain. Of course, Avery Brooks did stellar and unforgettable work as Captain Sisko, and Star Trek Deep Space Nine fans still yearn for him to reprise the role, although Brooks has retired from acting. Meanwhile, Ernie Hudson, who is 79, seems ageless as he continues to be cast in high-profile roles like Boston Blue. Somewhere in the multiverse, however, there may be an alternate reality where Ernie Hudson played Captain Sisko on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. The universes of Star Trek and Ghostbusters have always existed in parallel pop culture orbits, one rooted in hopeful visions of interstellar diplomacy, the other in supernatural comedy about zapping spooks with proton packs. But for a brief, largely forgotten moment in Hollywood history, those worlds almost collided in a way that could have reshaped Star Trek forever. Recently, in a candid interview at a fan convention, a beloved Ghostbusters star revealed that he once auditioned to become Star Trek's first black captain, a role that might have changed the trajectory of both his career and the franchise itself. The revelation, met with gasps and applause from fans, sheds light on a fascinating what-if moment in Trek lore. The Ghostbuster who almost commanded the Enterprise. The actor in question? Ernie Hudson, who famously played Winston Zeddemore in Ghostbusters and its sequels. Known for grounding the eccentric team with his everyman charm, Hudson explained that during the early 1990s, as Paramount was developing a new phase of Star Trek, he was invited to audition for the role of a starship captain. According to Hudson, they were looking for someone strong, someone who could stand toe-to-toe with the legacy of Kirk and Picard. My name came up, and I thought, why not? A black captain of the Enterprise? That would be something. Hudson didn't specify whether the role was tied to Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which would later cast Avery Brooks as Captain Benjamin Sisko, or a potential next-generation spin-off. But the timing places his audition squarely in the early 90s, a period when the franchise was actively seeking to expand diversity in its leading roles. The pressure of Trek's legacy. For Hudson, the audition was daunting. "You're not just reading for a role," he said. "You're auditioning for a legacy." Star Trek isn't just another sci-fi show. It's a cultural milestone, and you're stepping into the boots of captains who have become icons. The audition process, as Hudson recalled, involved multiple callbacks. He was given mock bridge commands to deliver, scenes about negotiating peace treaties with alien species, and even a tense monologue about the burden of command. They wanted to see if you could carry the gravitas, Hudson explained. It wasn't about cracking jokes or busting ghosts. It was about commanding respect across the galaxy. Why Hudson would have been perfect? Looking back, it's easy to see why Hudson was considered. Winston in Ghostbusters was level-headed, practical, and dependable, qualities any starship crew would want in their captain. Hudson also brought a quiet dignity to his performances, the kind of strength that doesn't need to shout to be heard. Imagine Hudson's steady voice saying, "Helm, set course for the Gamma Quadrant. Engage." It's not hard to picture fans rallying around him as one of Trek's defining captains. The role that went to Avery Brooks. Ultimately, of course, Hudson did not land the part. Instead, Avery Brooks was cast as Captain Benjamin Sisko in Deep Space Nine, a decision that proved monumental for Star Trek. Brooks's commanding intensity and emotional depth gave fans a captain unlike any other, one who was complex, conflicted, and deeply human. Hudson admits, "I can't argue with their choice. Avery was brilliant. He was Sisko. But I'll always wonder what I might have brought to it." This alternate timeline, where Ernie Hudson might have taken the chair instead of Brooks, is one of those tantalizing pop culture what-ifs. Would DS9 have leaned more into humor with Hudson at the helm? Would his warmth have changed the show's darker, serialized tone? Fans react to the revelation. The audience at Hudson's panel erupted with applause and groans of disbelief at the revelation. One fan shouted, "We were robbed." Another commented that Hudson's calm but commanding energy might have made him the perfect balance between Kirk's charisma and Picard's diplomacy. Online, Trek forums lit up with speculative casting discussions. Some fans even created AI mock-ups of Hudson in a Starfleet uniform, complete with captain's pips. "It's surreal to see him on the bridge," one commenter wrote. "He looks like he belongs there." Representation matters. Hudson also used the opportunity to reflect on the importance of representation. "When I was growing up, I didn't see many people who looked like me commanding starships. Seeing Nichelle Nichols on the original Star Trek was groundbreaking. And when Avery got the role, it inspired a whole new generation. I'm proud to have even been considered to carry that mantle." His words highlight just how significant Star Trek's decision to cast its first black captain truly was. For decades, the franchise had been at the forefront of diversity. Nicholas Uhura, George Takei Sulu, Michelle Yeoh's Captain Georgiou in more recent years. But making a black man the lead captain of a series was a landmark moment. The Ghostbusters Trek connection that almost was. There's something deliciously ironic about the idea of a Ghostbuster taking the helm of a Starfleet vessel. In one universe, Ernie Hudson strapped on a proton pack to battle spectral entities. In another, he might have sat in the captain's chair, facing Klingons, Cardassians, and the Dominion. Hudson joked, "If I had gotten it, maybe we'd have had an episode where the Enterprise faced a ghost ship. I could have brought my proton pack to set." The crowd roared with laughter, imagining a bizarre crossover between phasers and proton streams. A career of near misses and quiet triumphs. Hudson's near casting as Trek's first black captain joins a long list of almosts in Hollywood. But the actor isn't bitter. His career has been marked by resilience, steady work, and a reputation as one of the most dependable character actors in the industry. From Ghostbusters to Oz to The Crow and beyond, Hudson has left an indelible mark. And in some ways, the fact that he came close to joining the Trek pantheon only adds to his legend. Sometimes, Hudson reflected, "The roles you don't get shape your story as much as the ones you do." What could have been, and what was. It's hard not to imagine an alternate 1990s where Ernie Hudson boldly went where no Ghostbuster had gone before. Maybe DS9 would have had a different tone. Maybe it wouldn't have hit the same dramatic highs. Or maybe Hudson would have become a household name for reasons beyond his proton pack. But in reality, Star Trek made the right call with Avery Brooks, delivering one of its most complex and unforgettable captains. Hudson, meanwhile, continues to delight fans across franchises, living proof of his own words. Sometimes just being considered for greatness is its own honor. Final thought. The revelation that a Ghostbusters star nearly became Star Trek's first black captain is more than just a fun trivia tidbit. It's a reminder of the franchise's enduring legacy of representation, the unpredictable turns of Hollywood casting, and the tantalizing allure of what might have been. Whether zapping ghosts or commanding a starship, Ernie Hudson has shown that he has the presence, the dignity, and the heart to inspire fans across generations. And in some corner of the multiverse, perhaps, he's still out there, sitting in the captain's chair, staring into the stars, ready to say, engage. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.